like I said, I've built, I'm just a girl from Vakasi. I'm from El Dorado Park. I come from humble beginnings. Participate, give of yourself, be in service, seeing people succeed.
This is where you and I,
Seeing people succeed and seeing people grow. Can I tell you, at my current organization, the temp receptionist is now managing the kitchen staff. Lead with love. And it sounds airy-fairy, like what are we talking about, lead with love? But it actually speaks to a leadership where there's clarity of disabilities.
Yeah, definitely.
A person with a disability can add value, guys. Yes. So if a person is wheelchair bound, the person is still able to bring a lot of value. You thinking, oh, the person is in a wheelchair, but the person can bring so much value. In the current day, I was shocked when someone said to me, oh, the person took a mental health day.
Mental health day.
I think sometimes we forget that we need to protect the business, because the business provides us with jobs. It provides us with purpose. It provides us with an income. So we are all equally responsible to protect the business. And employees should be held accountable to deliver.
I agree.
I see managers are afraid to hold people accountable for performance. You were supposed to do this. Why is this not done? We expecting 1, 2, and 3. Why are we afraid to hold employees accountable? Employees should be treated fairly. Absolutely.
No, fully agree with
but
that.
There has to be accountability, because the minute people are not held accountable, and where I'm not delivering, there must be consequences.
Of course.
And those consequences must be applied consistently, because if those consequences are not applied consistently, the business will.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Sisol Talk. Today you can see my smile. I'm super excited. I'm sitting here with my guest, Miss Jones. Riana, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Solomon?
I'm all right, thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
It's a pleasure.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Oh, okay. I hope I don't disappoint, but yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, but I can tell already that this conversation is going to be very interesting for our listeners and the guys watching on YouTube and other platforms.
Okay.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest here. She's she's actually Group HR.
Correct.
For one of the group of companies in South Africa. And not only South Africa, though, but the organization operates across the continent and the world. And she has in-depth experience in HR, mostly labor relations, career development and organizational development.
Correct.
But I don't want to mess it up. I'll ask you, Riana, to just tell us who you are in short, and then so that the guys can learn who you are.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm the group HR lead for the Millat Group of companies. We are in the hospitality space. We're a private equity company, and we invest in brands, and we build brands. We provide the operational support. We provide the people. We give the guidance in terms of the culture. And we have coffee shops. We're in hospitality and retail, as I said. We've got coffee shops, we've got hotels, and we've got quite a vast portfolio, because we've been in the energy space as well.
Yes.
But we are experts in tourism, I would say, Solomon. Yes, it's tourism, hospitality space. My CEO, Mr. Hamza Faruqi, is a specialist in this field, and he's often asked to speak. He's currently speaking in Kenya. He spoke in Kenya yesterday. So yeah, he travels all over the world, and he gives guidance in terms of hospitality.
And here we
So
are.
yeah,
with you today.
I learned quite a lot from him. I do come from a broadcasting space. I've worked at YFM. as the HR manager. I come from an HIV research space. I've worked at the Wits Health Consortium. People have seen Professor Glenda Gray on TV, and she was someone we worked with. But I've worked in world sports betting. I've worked at a call center space, reward space, Ster-Kinekor. I've been at a couple of places, yes. I write, like you. I write. And I write.
I actually want to know a little bit more about that.
I write in Afrikaans.
Lekker,
I do.
Yeah.
I grew up in El Dorado Park. So I write. I've been a semi-finalist for Miss South Africa.
Wow.
I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a child of God. I serve God. And I'm a daughter, a child. I'm big on service.
As we're celebrating Easter, I'm just thinking now that you were all hands high.
Yes. No. My daughter was being confirmed, so it was also a big moment for us.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, you do so many things, and here you are, still a very good mother, and I mean, look at your daughter.
Yes. That's exciting. I think for me, Solomon, I'm passionate about life. And I believe people need to participate in life.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same in the workplace, in the workspace. Participate, give of yourself, be in service. You know, there's no use, there's an organization there, and ideally the organization is trying to support you and develop you, but you must participate. You must want to be there. You must want to grow. You must want to do more. You must want to be in service.
Actually, speaking of that, it reminds me of, you know, most people in organizations, they would expect HR or owners or directors of the business to say, go and do this course.
Correct.
They don't necessarily go out there and say, you know what, this is the course I want to do, and this is how it will benefit the organization. I actually like that. I so much resonate with that.
That for me is even, you get into interviews and you interview people and people are asking, what are the opportunities at the organization? And don't misunderstand me. An organization must invest in its people.
Yes.
It must attempt to grow and develop the individual. But you as an employee, you have a responsibility towards yourself.
Correct.
What are you doing to grow and develop yourself? And you'd be shocked when you ask a candidate, what are you doing to grow and develop yourself? And people look around. It's scary. And it's not always, or some people think the response is always about, I did this course, or I don't have money to do this course. But there's little things, and information being what it is, information being out there, our access to information. It's so simple. There's podcasts.
I mean, today,
learning from other leaders, learning from one another, accessing a book, a simple book. There are little things that you can do to equip and enable yourself to be better in your current role and to actually strive towards the role that you are eyeing. There's a lot you can do.
Thank you for saying that, because some of our audience is actually job seekers.
Yeah.
As you know, as I mentioned earlier, that one of our businesses is career recruitment specifically. So there are people that are watching that are wondering as to how and where will I get experience in this qualification that I have. But I know this is not what you came here to talk about.
No, that's fine.
It's actually something that I'm passionate about. And when somebody talks about that, you really touch my heart on that. But I just want to get back to the topic. Let me leave my passion aside. Right. So what part of your personal journey should the audience know about?
That, like I said, I've built, I'm just a girl from the Kasi. I'm from El Dorado Park. I come from humble beginnings. That didn't stop me from participating, whether it was at school, whether it was at varsity, or whether that was now in the workspace. I've built a diverse HR portfolio for myself through broadcasting, health, entertainment. I've participated. I've tried to get involved, and I enjoy developing and growing people. I'm passionate about people
This is
and
where-
seeing people succeed.
This is where you and I.
Seeing people succeed and seeing people grow. Can I tell you, at my current organization, the temp receptionist is now managing the kitchen staff.
Oh.
And she's got no management experience. It's exciting.
I mean, that's where you get experience, right?
Absolutely.
At work.
That's what I said to her. But she came in and we'd sit with her on our one-on-ones and we'd have, what have you told this, that. And eventually I said to her, and she stood dead in her tracks when I said to her, what kind of leader are you? I don't have experience. I'm not a leader, Riana. You have someone looking up to you. And you see different leaders. You learn from me, and there are probably traits that you see from my side. I don't like this about her. I like that. You see this from the CEO. You see this from different people.
Yes.
But you can navigate and you can create the leader that you want to be. You can make a decision in terms of, this is the kind of leader that I will be. I will be supportive.
One way or the other, we all leaders. And also leadership is one of the topics that we like in these conversations because we talk to leaders. And we also talk to future leaders.
Yes.
I like the fact that you took somebody who didn't believe that they could be, but made them one. Because most of the times we don't even know that we could be leaders. We are all born leaders. Frankly, I think we are all born as leaders. But what differentiates us is what kind of leader you become.
Correct.
And like you just said now. So on that, what defining moment shaped your leadership? Because I can tell you lead in your community.
Correct.
You lead in
my home.
In your home. You lead in the workplace.
Correct.
You lead in the society.
Correct.
So essentially, for me, you are that definition of I would say a South African complete leader.
I'd like that's nice. Thank you. I'll take that. Thank you.
We are a community-driven society.
Correct. But I think funny enough, it was with my journey on Mrs. South Africa, and someone said, lead with love. And it sounds airy-fairy, like, what are we talking about, lead with love? But it actually speaks to a leadership where there's clarity and kindness. People who work with me, Solomon, you see me smiling here and it's all good. But people who work with me know that I'm extremely firm. They understand that work needs to happen and it needs to happen according to the company standard.
Yes.
I'm firm when it comes to that.
I like that.
And you can be no nonsense with your standards, but you can be empathetic in your leadership. You can guide. You can give direction. You can be an example. Because in as much as I want you to do the work, I want you to be on time, but if I'm the example, then I've set the tone. And then it's easy for me to come to you and ask from you and hold you accountable. But sometimes in leadership, we out there and we far and we not at work and we come this time and that time.
I mean, we are leaders, right?
Yes, we've earned it.
Leadership.
No, there's even a greater responsibility on you. So yes, for me, lead with love, lead with kindness, put clear standards in place, but where you need to guide, where you need to say, this was wrong. I'll tell you, I've given people warnings and people walk out and say, thank you, Riana. And you think, I've given you a warning, but the person is like, thank you, Riana, because you actually, when you rather use the opportunity to coach and develop, I don't have to demean you. I don't have to belittle you. There's no reason for that.
Speaking of that, one thing that is actually killing our society is that we have lots of leaders who want to be liked. Actually, I want to touch on something that you said, which is very profound. That being a leader, you need to be firm.
Correct.
With your rules and regulations.
Correct.
Policies and procedures. But it doesn't mean that because you are firm, then you become this horrible monster.
No.
People
get that wrong.
That part.
Absolutely. They get that wrong. There's the assumption because you're firm, you have to be mean. You don't have to be mean. You can deliver a message without being mean. I can say to you, but your performance is not according to the company standards.
And nicely
We
so.
would like for you to improve, or your absenteeism is excessive. This goes against the company's policy. There needs to be improvement here, failing which the company has to proceed with discipline. Did I swear? Did I beat you? No.
Not even.
No, but you understand that, hi, this is not in accordance with the company's policy. Hi, this is not acceptable. Hi, this needs to stop.
But do you think that that is, because I'm just thinking now that sometimes, because people break rules every single day.
Correct.
Is it because probably people just don't care, or they are not well trained? From where I sit and the cases that I deal with,
Yes.
mostly would be they get used to certain behaviors.
Correct.
Because once they do it the first time, it becomes, okay, we saw you, I talked to you as a manager, outside the provisions of the company policies.
Correct.
Maybe you buy me a drink or coffee.
Yes.
I just want to hear your perspective on that.
I think the challenge, Solomon, for me, what I've experienced or what I've been exposed to in my career is that, firstly, rules are not in place. You'd be shocked at how many organizations rules are not in place. And even where rules are in place, applying those rules.
Applying the rules.
Consistently even.
Consistently.
Not because I like you and I don't like you, or I'm just going to applying the rules. Having rules in place, that foundation. Only once that foundation is in place can people be held accountable. But often you find that big organizations don't have the rules, or where there are rules, the rules are not being applied consistently. So that is the problem, because like you said it now, the person finds that, oh, I did this once, now I start. So the fact that I did it once, was it brought to my attention that this is against policy, that this is deviant, that I need to stop this? Was that done? Was the rule reiterated? But now I got away with it, so I'll do it again, and again, and again, and again. And this is why sometimes organizations wake up and there's fraud for 60 million. How did we get there? Because a person doesn't just shopper 60 mil straight.
No,
you
of course.
You test the water, so rules are not in place, whether it was operationally or even in terms of HR. There were no rules in place. This is why the rule could be broken, the rule could be tested, or the rule is not effective. So now I test, I taste, I go, and eventually it's 6 million later.
Yeah, it's hard. But a manager would ask, I'm just thinking from the operations perspective,
all right,
as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
The manager would ask to say, do I really have to be a robot? Do I have to be an AI?
Yep.
And when this happens, then these are the questions that I'm always asked when I go and actually do the investigations. Do I always have to implement this rule all the time? Is that, I mean, with your experience?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
I think that's because the manager views discipline as punitive. It's punishment. I need to punish people.
Yes.
But if you view it as an opportunity to coach and correct and develop.
I love the perspective.
The minute I see something wrong, that's a coaching opportunity for me. Did you know this is not in accordance with the company? And let me explain to you why it's not in accordance with the company. This is how it impacts. So that's a coaching. It's not now, you did this wrong, I've got you, sign here. It's not that.
But it's like that.
Yes, it's like that.
For a lot of people, it's like
absolutely.
that. Absolutely.
But it's because
catching.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I'm bloodthirsty. Vampire. No. Use it. The manager who views it that way needs to change the thinking. Change the thinking that I'm there to coach and lead and guide my people. So where they go wrong, I'm able to correct it. I'm able to say, this is wrong. This is how we need to do it. Let's do it that way.
Riana, I love that. A lot of people, like from where I come from, from the mining environment, engineering, and different industries, managers, they would view breach of company policy as an opportunity to catch somebody, to dismiss somebody. I mean, talking about that, you think about the cost of hiring,
Absolutely.
the cost of onboarding, engaging a new person, the risk as well,
The loss of talent,
the loss of talent.
the time to get someone else upskilled to that level. There's just too much in it. Shouldn't be viewed as something I'm trying to get you, or yes, now I've got you. It shouldn't be like that. Like I've said, use it as an opportunity to develop and coach. I think in terms of the management, when you are a leader, when you are managing people, if you see the job as I need to do salaries, I need to do this, and I need to do that. But this is why for me, it's about people focused. For me, I'm people focused. It's about the people.
Yeah.
So I'm paying people. I'm enabling people. I'm empowering people. Versus, I have to do salaries. It is, yes, fact, you have to do salaries. But if you have staff, have you taken the time to understand that these are people? And what are you doing to support them? What are you doing to lift them? What are you doing to develop them? Do you want to stand back and say, I assisted, I contributed in Solomon thriving or achieving his potential? Because I think also we forget that we are in business so that individuals can reach their potential. Because when we bring you in, are we bringing you in purely to remain there? Or is the idea that we're bringing you in here and eventually you end up there? Is that the idea? Is that the understanding? I think we need to be clear about that. And it's not airy-fairy because maybe to say, yeah, but this is just a temp job. How does she see it's a temp job, But at the same time, did you have an opportunity to grow? I had a learner who came in on a 6-week work exposure program.
Yes.
And Solomon, she thrived during the 6 weeks.
Oh.
She came, she sat with me, and it was only a 6-week period. Nothing more. It was only 6 weeks. But during that 6 weeks, she was exposed to different areas of the business. She saw different leaders. She came in, and that's something, it has grown her.
Yes.
She's not in the organization now past the 6 weeks.
Beautiful.
But she has grown. She knows the type of work environment she wants to go into now based on what she's been exposed to from us as a first-time organization.
This is the kind of HR that we want to see.
Absolutely.
Because human resources, it's not like my take is, the definition of HR, human resources, rather, the accounting definition.
The people who eat the money or you don't bring profit in.
Exactly. So, but from the human resource, from the socialistic perspective, the way you just explain how human resources is supposed to be, like I'm also learning here because I come from the background of labor relations.
Okay.
If it is something, then I must discipline.
Let's go.
For me, it's all about discipline. I must straighten you up. Otherwise, you'll continue to do what you've always done. So, what would be your top 3 HR topics that you are passionate about?
Wow. Number 1, employee experience and engagement.
I want you to really extrapolate that because most companies do not even have that.
Big, absolutely. Yeah. What is the employee's experience being at that company? What is the employee's engagement with the organization? Does the person participate? So do you have a supportive culture? One where I'm able to grow, where I'm able to experience different things and learn different things. Wow. What is the employee's experience like with your organization? That is important.
Wow.
What is we are in a time where people have extreme pressure. Do you have a supportive culture?
Sure.
Mr. Employer, do you have a supportive culture? Is your culture one where despite the person's pressures, despite the pressures in the world, in the space, deadlines, reports, that there's support? When there's a mistake, we are there, we support each other, we show each other the right way. Do you have that in place? That is my first topic.
Wow.
And then I think my second topic would always be people growth and development. Equip your people. The minute you equip your people, you develop your people, you have a stronger workforce. You have a smarter workforce. You have people that can come up with initiatives and ideas, and this is what we're doing, and this is how we can do it better. So invest in your people. It looks like you're losing money. You're not. You're gaining so much more.
Yeah, it sounds like you're losing money indeed.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
And then number 3, I would say diversity. Diversity, inclusion, equity.
That's a global, that's a global issue.
Absolutely. And where there are diverse voices, you come up with a greater perspective. If we all only have, if there's only this type of voice here, then we'll only come up with this kind of perspective.
I fully
But if we have 1,000 different perspectives, when a decision is taken in terms of which perspective we're going with, it'll be an even greater perspective. But we limit ourselves in thinking, no, we only open up.
Love that.
Open up.
With because you come here with international experience. You're not just coming here with South African knowledge. I'm sure that your horizons are quite very broad. In South Africa, mostly when people talk about diversity, they talk about racial
Correct.
mostly
For
diversity.
us in South Africa, that's number 1.
Which is more of, what triple BEE really enforces. It's all about the skin color.
Correct.
But I don't think you and I agree with that definition when it comes to diversity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so much when we talk about inclusion. We even talking about people with disabilities.
Yeah. Definitely.
A person with a disability can add value, guys. Yes. So if a person is wheelchair bound, the person is still able to bring a lot of value. You thinking, oh, the person is in a wheelchair, but the person can bring so much value. It's more about enabling the workplace, creating a workplace that is conducive to support an individual that's different.
Wow.
Because is it a disability? The person is different from us. So create a workspace where the person can perform and thrive in your workspace. Do that. But like you say, the diversity, Solomon, for us, it's really on race in South Africa, but there's also about women.
Let's not
forget that. Yes, at women, at my current organization also, in terms of the energy space. The energy space wasn't really one where there were a lot of women, but we even started something to say, okay, we want women in fuel, women in energy. This is something that we want to work on and build on. But there's a lot, it's not just about race. There's gender. There's even age now. There's age bias. There's a lot that's happening.
I agree.
So there's too much out there. Yeah.
I heard actually last year from, I forgot the name of that organization, but I was invited to diversity and inclusion event last year. And one of the speakers from the global 500 companies. And she spoke about something very profound. She said that companies that are more inclusive, they perform, I think she said 10x better.
Correct.
Than companies that are not.
Correct.
So I'm just thinking with your experience and international exposure, do you take this to be the case?
Absolutely. Remember, as I said, the more diverse your workforce is, the greater perspective comes out of it. Because there's so much we can learn from each other. There's so much we can share. We can transfer to one another. There's so much. And once we collaborate and we put all of that together, it's amazing what we can come up with.
I just want to touch on on something very, it's very topical in the country, which is, companies must only hire South Africans.
Oh yes, there's that. There's that.
And
yeah.
I'm not completely against it.
Yes. Sir.
What I'm saying is that there is a little bit of me that says, but that's not part of the inclusion and diversity. If we really want to grow global organizations,
correct,
we need to obviously have global mindset, and that for you to have that, beautiful, you obviously need
to open the doors.
Open the doors.
I'm with you in agreement with that. Absolutely. I think the issue is more around paperwork and legitimacy. But I think ultimately we need to open ourselves up because there's so much that we can learn from one another. There's so much that we can take and apply, because whatever's happening in Malaysia is not happening in South Africa. And when I sit with an HR person from Malaysia and she tells me this is how they're doing it,
yes,
and I incorporate that with us, I'm sure I can learn something there.
No, definitely.
I'm sure I can maybe make it South African or find something that can be applicable or that can be tweaked. But this is the thing, even if it's not even tweaking anything, but learning from one another, because it gives you a greater perspective.
I agree.
We must never be afraid to learn from others, and we must never be afraid to share with one another. Because from that, like I say, something bigger is grown.
You know, talking about fear, there's a book that I read by A.C. Krailings where he talks about fear.
Yes.
You know, but it's something that we'll talk about next time. So, give me one strong opinion about HR people may disagree with.
Disagree with?
Yes.
That we are actually the partner. People may disagree with that. I don't think we currently in a place where people understand that we are the partner. We should be the partner. HR is people. We discussed it earlier on. People, your business is people. Get your people right. Get your people right, and your business is right. So people may think, oh, HR is admin, HR is events, HR is parties, HR is no, no, we're not parties. Hey,
Yeah.
We
soft, caring, motherly.
Yes, no.
That's human. That's what people see human resources.
HR is not parties. HR is no. HR is the partner that supports your business and helps you and your business and your people thrive. HR is that partner. And the sad part is a lot of the time HR is not given the right respect. You're there, just go get your contract from HR, just go get your UIF from HR, that's where we are. When in actual fact, HR is the partner.
It actually starts from the top.
Absolutely.
HR shouldn't just start from the office.
No. HR should be there when you're formulating your policy, when you're making a decision in terms of your policy, because HR will be that people voice. So HR needs to be there.
I agree. You remind me of many other companies that I've worked with in the past where policies are just drafted and implemented.
Now it's worse with AI. Go on AI policy.
I mean, imagine. I'm just thinking, we all use AI, but to get AI to draft your policy, to define your culture.
You're absolutely right. There's, AI should come in and it should be used to enhance whatever we have. But you know what? For you to draft a policy, you need to understand your people. What is it that they need?
Yes.
Let me give you an example.
Sure.
We find that sick leave is becoming excessive, and in the current day, I was shocked when someone said to me, the person took a mental health day. Yeah.
Mental health day.
Yeah. Mental health day.
Is that a public holiday in South Africa?
People now have mental health days. And I'm not, a company can write it in its policy if they have an understanding that maybe it's an extremely pressurized environment and we feel once a month we can include. A company can do that, absolutely. But that would, like I say, that would come with the understanding of the business. It's not a blanket approach, we're writing in a mental health day.
Exactly.
Because it's not a statutory right. Statutory, we're talking sick leave, annual leave, family responsibility. There's no mental health day. No.
Then somebody decides on their own that I'm going to take
this is my mental health day. No. But it's more about, do you have an understanding about your people? And once you have an understanding that, oh my gosh, this is a very pressured environment, people are taking strain, so ideally we can include this in our policy, and it's once a day, and these are the requirements, and this is how you do it. And this is how we apply it consistently so that there's no abuse.
That's true. I mean, I've seen a lot of people abusing leave just because it's there.
Correct.
Taking 10-day study leave for one exam. Because there's no policy in place, right?
Which company is that? Where's that? Let's go. No, that's absolutely wrong, yeah.
What companies in South Africa are getting wrong about human resources? You spoke about partner.
Correct.
Taking HR as partner. I don't
Correct.
know but I'm sure there is a lot that companies are getting wrong that you might be aware of.
Yes. We said HR is just you're not making money. That in itself is wrong. where HR is able to address excessive absenteeism. Is that not saving the business money?
Please tell them.
Hello?
Tell our listeners that HR is saving money.
Hi. Is HR not saving
and that is
money?
True.
Absolutely.
That is very true.
These are things you get wrong about us.
Let me speak about that. There was an article that I read, but this is about like 5, 6, 7 years ago, where they published that the government, they spent over R1 billion every year on suspension costs. This is like, I forgot the the citation, but it's a real thing that I read about.
No,
and
I'm aware of that.
There's also a lot of cases that take over a year.
Absolutely, and that's so unnecessary, and that's just not right. But things like that, HR can, even getting your employees motivated, getting morale up. That means the person is able to produce more work, better work, quality work. Is there no? Can we not tie revenue to that? So we're not the people who just you're not making money for the organization. No, that's not the case.
Like you said, before we actually went on record, we was talking about how HR is not making money, but the fact that the first asset in a business is a human being.
Correct.
I'm referring to also a director who's a human being.
Employee number one.
Number one. Right. So this is where HR really comes in. When you bring more people, if you do not involve, I believe that with the experience that I have, so far I've been in HR for over 15 years now, and with that, you have sometimes you hire people without involving human resources. There's no proper specification of what you need. You hire somebody because you like them. Probably they look pretty.
Absolutely. They were referred.
They were referred?
Yes.
Family member?
Yes.
And then, boom, all of a sudden, then you have a liability that the accounting guys talk about.
Absolutely. It's a huge faux pas. And, like I said previously, it's really important to partner with HR. I think a lot of organizations are finally getting to understand that recruitment is not just about matching a CV to a job description. Culture is way more important. Someone who aligns with the organization, who understands, someone who will fit in with the team. That's what culture is. How the person will respond. Does the person respond in accordance to how we would normally respond? You don't want a person who is misaligned with the company's culture.
They leave very fast.
Absolutely.
Very quickly.
And there your cost goes because you have to restart the process. You've lost time. There's just so much. But it's important to include your strategic partner, who is HR, in identifying if this is actually a fit for the organization. And that fit goes, like I said, beyond the qualifications and experience. It does. The bigger issue is the culture fit.
Very important. I cannot overstress that.
Culture's king.
Culture's king.
Culture's king.
You set up the culture as the business, as the founder or owner or CEO, and then when you hire people, they must be aligned with your norms, values, beliefs.
Absolutely.
And your goals of the business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's get to discipline and employee relations that you didn't. It's not in your top 3.
Can I tell you though, I do like it. That's why I even did advanced labor relations even at UP, because I like discipline. I do. I think it's really the understanding of what discipline is.
Yes.
That's more where the difference comes in, but I like it.
Well, this is my first love, okay?
All right. Okay.
So what is the biggest employer mistake in disciplinary process that you have observed?
Like I said, treating discipline as punishment. Use it as that opportunity to coach and develop and train. Use it. Use it to reiterate a rule. Now everybody knows this is the correct rule. Use it, like I said, to coach. You training, you developing. Don't use it as
it's a whip, yeah?
Yeah, I am.
Channel you proud.
No. No, that's a big issue. But also, I've also mentioned it, apply rules consistently. Solomon, if things are not being applied consistently,
I agree with you.
it builds resentment in other employees.
Yes.
It sets the wrong precedent. Oh, she gets away with this. Oh, she can do this. Oh, and then you have a workforce that either follows suit. You have others, they follow what this person is doing.
Very important.
And before you know it, you have a bigger problem. You had one person who was doing this. Now you have 10 people doing this. But also the people who continue to do it, they are bitter. They are resent. The people who are now, who continue to follow the rules and they are watching that no rule is being applied to the person who's not following the rule, that those people become resented. They have resentment towards the business.
So what you are saying here is, I just want to clarify this because I think this is important and we must reiterate it.
Yes.
So if you do not apply rules consistently, let alone the CCMA, let alone the risk and the costs.
Correct.
If you do not apply it, other employees would ordinarily see that as something that is normal to do.
Yes, and is this what you want? Then you have a bigger problem. Absolutely. Fairness suffers. You're right. Fairness suffers, but the business also suffers.
At the same time.
The business suffers. And at some point, you get people who are happy to follow the rules and they exit the business.
Speaking of that, there's cases that I've dealt with before where you could see the trend in sick leave abuse.
Yeah.
Right. Which was, you had 2 employees on the payday, last Friday of the month. You already know what I'm about to say. They're not at work.
Yes.
If you don't discipline these 2, then you have probably 4, 10, then it escalates.
Correct.
Then it becomes a norm that on the last day of the month,
there's nobody at work.
There's nobody to work.
Correct.
Then there's now demand.
Correct.
They put it in the wage demands.
That's our mental health day. You're absolutely right. But it is really about being consistent. And people say consistency is hard, but this is why you need to partner with HR, because HR will ensure and HR can support in ensuring that there's consistency.
Yes.
Because, we did this with this one, this is what we need to do. Or this is what the policy says. There's no emotion. HR is purely looking at the policy and saying, because you find people, the person has been late 20 times and you haven't done anything. And then the manager wakes up, I want a final written warning. It doesn't work
I've
like
seen that. Many times.
Doesn't work like that. But HR will be there to support you to ensure that the discipline is applied consistently.
I'm sure there is small businesses that are watching right now who can't necessarily afford to have you. Because you guys are expensive.
Oh, wow, Solomon.
I mean, the good ones.
Yes, absolutely.
They don't come cheap, right?
Yes.
I mean, let's just be realistic. No. How do you see them managing this human resource element without somebody in-house? I've seen people from where I come from, some can afford consulting fees that they charge.
Correct.
And some can't even afford that, but they have probably 10, 20 employees. How would you advise them to, in dealing with this kind of issues?
So you may not have, it's a tough one. What you're asking me is a tough one because I absolutely recommend that people consult to avoid the pitfalls and to avoid making big mistakes that ultimately cost the business even more. But I would then suggest that equip yourself. Get a course, do a course, and I remember there was 100 years ago, we were all doing courses, 2 days, 3-day courses by Andrew Levy.
Yeah.
You remember Andrew Levy used to have all these workshops and we'd go, but I think equip yourself then. If you're not able to consult or have someone that you can consult on from time to time, then equip yourself initially. But also very basic, and it's not necessarily that everybody would understand it. But once you put a rule in place, we know it's very simple that once I've put a rule in place, start by, am I putting a rule in place? And if I've put this rule in place, ensure that everybody is aware of that rule.
Yes.
And then you make sure when there's a deviation, you apply the rule consistently. It's that 3 steps. It's literally those 3 steps.
Yes.
If you can't afford it, understand that I put a rule in place. I must ensure people are aware of the rule. And where there's a breach of the rule, whatever I do, I need to apply it consistently. Meaning if I'm giving a warning, a first warning, I must give everybody a first warning. Meaning if I give a second warning or if I suspend, I must suspend it. But try and equip yourself then.
Yes.
It's better if you come from a position where you have knowledge and you can then try and navigate. But it's very difficult if you can't. So I would say, 20 employees, but I can't afford an HR person. Great, go for an HR course. Go for a basic HR course in terms of labor relations. So you understand, once you've written rules, how you apply the rules consistently throughout the business.
You know, it sounds like we've been talking about consistency for some time. It sounds like a topic that we actually need to talk about in the future. I think I'm going to invite you back so that we can just literally concentrate and focus on that consistency part. Because I think most businesses, if you were to read case laws, there's loads of case laws, plethora of them that talks about companies losing cases because they're inconsistent.
Absolutely.
In applying discipline.
Absolutely.
So, do you have any real life example of poor employee relation handling that you can share?
Sadly, Solomon, what I'm sharing is not unique. We've seen it where there's huge exits from a business. And the senior leadership is of the view, let him go. We never needed him. He had a bad attitude. She wasn't really performing. We ignore all of that and we don't allow HR to do its work.
Yes.
HR is being hushed. A big mistake is hushing HR, number one. But where things like, this is what happened, massive exits, and then now you need to rehire quickly. Now you overhire. Where there were 2 people in the department, now there's 10 people doing the same job in that department.
Yep.
And then a couple of months later, you have to restructure. These are big faux pas in terms of discipline.
Those are really big risks.
Absolutely.
Really.
And we've all seen it. But I think where HR is being hushed. And that was an example that I saw where, HR doesn't have a voice, or HR is not being asked to, let's go, what's happening on the exits? What are we coming up with to try and solve these issues? No, we look the other way, and we can hire 3 people where it was Solomon alone, and then you have to end up restructuring again.
That's
so
true.
Those are big mistakes.
But then for our HR viewers who'd want to grow and be like you,
like me, Solomon.
I truly respect you. I respect your profile. I mean, anybody who was listening to the introduction, I'm sure they'll be very inspired. For human resource managers, officers, and people who aspire to be at your level and also have a voice, what would be your advice to those people? I'm sure many are listening and that want to get that voice where, there's an opportunity within the organization to actually raise their voice and be heard.
Yeah. I think firstly, and I've also had a couple of instances where I've aligned with the wrong organization or our values weren't aligned. So it always, painfully so, it always starts at the recruitment phase. So even as an HR person, align yourself with an organization that shares in your values. I'm fortunate in that in my current employer, my boss allows me a voice. And even if it's something that he doesn't necessarily want to hear, but he'll sit and he'll listen and he'll hear me. Beautiful. And he'll come back and he'll say, I've thought about this and maybe, I hear you, maybe we should do it this or maybe we can do that.
Good choice,
but as an HR person, I also want to say, Solomon, sometimes because it's not to say I woke up and I always had a voice and I was always as an HR person.
Yes.
You've worked in organizations where HR is silenced and HR is told to shut up and you've been in organizations like that.
Yeah.
And I think, remember that you are for the people. Take that seriously and speak up. You don't have to be rude. You have to be smart. Be strategic, but maybe have the discussion and vision when you have the discussion and plan how you're going to do it when you have the discussion with your boss, you show the person the risks of not addressing these issues, how it will affect the business. But don't become the HR that says, yes, yebo baba, to the left,
Yes,
to the
boss.
right. Yes, no, don't be that HR person. And because if you remain quiet, if you don't speak up for the employees, what are the employees left to?
Yes.
This is your role.
Very
and
sad.
This falls on your shoulders. You need to speak up for the employees.
And I'm sure when these employers hire you as an HR manager, they don't necessarily just hire a yes boss man or
Absolutely.
yes boss girl.
Absolutely.
They know that when they say they're going to have an HR manager, it means that they will have somebody who will challenge them
Absolutely.
on certain topics that relates to human resources, because they themselves can do justice to that department.
Absolutely. I think leadership should also trust HR and allow HR to be HR. Leadership should trust HR and allow HR to be HR. But HR must take their job seriously and speak up for the people. Where there's issues, address it. And address it through the correct channels. And do it appropriately. Don't go prepared to a meeting and show.
Yes.
But if we don't do this, this is the result. And I had to also learn at some point, sometimes you come through and you're presenting something and it's not accepted. You must be able to step back from that and say, I've given my guidance and my advice to the business. And the leader the CEO has the right to make the call in terms of how he wants to proceed.
Definitely.
But I haven't failed as HR because I presented him with these issues. You haven't failed if you've spoken, but you failed if you keep quiet.
It makes me think that we, in the human resource fraternity, we almost close relatives of the trade union leadership.
Wow.
Because those guys, they will say it like it
They
is.
will say it like it is, and they will continue to say, even when it's enough now, but they'll continue.
Yeah.
But they'll say it. And then I think that's important. As HR, you need to say it. And don't take it that you failed just because your way is not taken or the boss has not taken it. But the fact that you've spoken, you've acted in your capacity.
You've acted.
Absolutely.
Love that. Speaking of that, you're taking me to the next question. What's your stance on accountability versus protection, employee protection?
Solomon, we all need to protect the business. I think sometimes we forget that we need to protect the business because the business provides us with jobs. It provides us with purpose.
Yes.
It provides us with an income. So we are all equally responsible to protect the business.
Yeah.
And employees should be held accountable to deliver.
I agree.
I see managers are afraid to hold people accountable for performance. You were supposed to do this. Why is this not done? We're expecting 1, 2, and 3. Why are we afraid to hold employees accountable? Employees should be treated fairly.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
No, fully agree with that.
But there has to be accountability, because the minute people are not held accountable and where I'm not delivering, there must be consequences.
No, of course.
And those consequences must be applied consistently, because if those consequences are not applied consistently, the business will suffer.
This is where, going back to what you said earlier, that sometimes as leaders,
Yes.
we need to obviously act in the best interest of the business.
Correct.
But I'm of the view also that you need to balance the scale between obviously the business and the people at the same time. This is what I always tell the trade unionists when we negotiate, that I always see what they want and what
Yes.
they're looking for.
Yes.
But we must also protect the jobs of the same members that are paying
Absolutely.
for the fees that pays for their traveling and all their business at the same
Yes.
time. No, thank you for
And
that.
sometimes a mandate doesn't make sense. Sometimes we're just pushing mandates, but the mandate doesn't make sense. Not for the business or for the people.
Yeah, but
Sometimes.
obviously I would say HR should push the mandate of
Yes,
the-
no.
Like I said, for me, you are that definition of a leader. You might not be the CEO now.
I receive, thank you. I'll be the CEO, thanks, yeah.
I was looking at the profile of the likes of AB Khotle. I think
Yes.
he's up there in the Mercedes-Benz
Correct.
group, from human resources
Yes.
to where he is, right?
Happens. Yes.
And when I imagine him, I see this great leader that cares about people, but at the same time, he knows how to marry. He would know how to marry people and the business.
Correct.
And that's what we need to be.
Absolutely.
You know. So talking about leadership and culture, what defines a high-performing team? People always say, "I'm building a team." There's a team leader, there's team members, but let's talk about what would define a high-performing team when you have to configure your teams in your organization.
It's not just about the results. The results are important. we in business for results. Let's understand that.
Yes.
But a high-performing team will obviously also work together.
Yes.
If we're not pulling in the same direction, if we're not pulling towards the same vision, what is happening there? We need to work together. We need to support each other. And Solomon, there will be mistakes. There will be failures.
Yes.
And how do we then pick back up when the chips are down? How do we do that as a team? That's when you're looking at, but this is a high-performing team.
Wow.
They had a loss, they picked it up, they regrouped, different strategy, and they kept running. Those are the things that define that it's a high-performing team. Not that your numbers are high and your numbers keeps being high. That's great.
Consistently.
The day your numbers go down, how do you recover from that? Or the day 3 or 4 members are not available, are sick, or this or that, how do you support each other? Do you carry each other? That's the definition of a high-performing team.
Now, that one I'm going to note, right? Probably stick on my wall because I love it. We always think that best, top-performing teams is all about the results. In the mining industry, the meters, the team, they move the target.
No, that's critical.
Every single
we
one.
got it, yes.
But that, for the lack of a better word, that love, that care.
Cover me, I cover you.
Yeah.
I got you, you got me.
That's what defines a team.
Yes. Oh,
Together.
we drop this, we'll pick it back up, we'll come up with a plan. How are we going to pick this up? Not beat you to a pulp because this is what you've done. You got us to lose this account. No. Oh, we've got this account. Which other options do we have? How are we going to try and secure them? Let's pick it back up and move. Wow. That's a high-performing team.
Wow. So what behaviors that, with your experience, destroys culture very fast in an organization?
And culture's fragile, hey? You and I know.
Fragile, yeah.
Things like poor communication, inconsistency comes up again. But poor communication, inconsistency, these things destroy culture. These things erode culture where there's no clear rules, there's no clarity, gossip, disrespect. These things erode culture, but leaders have such a strong position when it comes to culture. They can strengthen the culture. The minute on the top, the culture is, I'm aligned with the culture and I understand the culture and I live it and I drive it, it filters down. The problem is, sometimes culture is just something we talk about. It's just out there. Yes, no.
It's something people talk about.
It's the buzzword, culture.
The boardroom talk.
Yes, it's boardroom.
Right?
Absolutely. But do we understand the seriousness of culture and how it impacts the people and how it will ultimately impact the business? Because once it impacts the people, it impacts the business. And this is why, like I said, it's critical when you hire more for culture. This is why HR needs to be part of that panel to say, not aligned.
It reminds me of what Elon Musk actually always say, and other American entrepreneurs who always say that they don't hire for qualifications or maybe experience. They would hire for attitude.
Absolutely.
More than anything else. So it's attitude than the rest.
Correct.
They start at that pinnacle that is has got larger, impact on culture.
Absolutely.
Because if you change your organizational culture, then it means that the fiber of your business also changes at the same time.
Correct.
I mean, it's the same as hiring a wrong person.
Correct. But people, you've heard people say, I can teach you how to do the work, but I can't teach you how to align with us, how to have the right values. That I can't teach you.
No, you can't.
I can't teach you the right responses. how when something goes wrong, when we've lost, when there's an argument in the team. I can't teach you those things. I can't teach you how to treat my customer. I can give you the basic skills in terms of customer service and this and that and telephone etiquette and things like that. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, will you know how to apply that? Will you now know how to become creative around that, depending on different scenarios and different situations? Will I know? Do you have the understanding of how I see my customer and how do you see the customer? I can't teach you that. But I can teach you how to switch on the computer and how to type. I can teach you little things like that.
Wow. This is exactly what I always say, that even if AI was to become completely smart and what do they call this word?
Replace. Don't say replace people.
No, not replace people. There's a word that they use actually in AI fraternity that forgot the name, but it's where it becomes completely smart. I don't think it can really replace human beings.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The human, because will the AI be able to be empathetic? Will AI, because you'll make the right sounds and you'll say the right things, but will AI be able to do those things? The human touch is the human touch, and negotiating, having conversations, these things human beings can do. AI can talk, AI can write nice speeches for you.
Yes.
AI can do all of that.
But I don't even see that. I fully agree with you, because a human, we shall always and shall forever remain one. And we're the only being that can feel for somebody else.
Absolutely.
And make the right decision, because not all decisions are based on 1 + 1 is 2.
No, and that's how AI comes to decisions. Absolutely.
Yeah.
AI comes to the decisions with the 1 + 1 is 2. But like you say, a human being has understanding and feeling for another person, has understanding. Because remember, if you have understanding, then whatever you put in place, you are putting in place from a point of understanding, and that then becomes effective. But how effective is it if I just say, because 1 + 1 is 2, so I'll put this in place, versus I have understanding and I'm putting this in place. The example of the mental health day, I have understanding. So what would AI say? Mental health, no, the law says it's not allowed this, that. But because we look at our organization and we have an understanding that here it's a highly pressured environment, and yes, possibly one mental health day wouldn't cost the business as much as people now booking more off sick, or people doing this, or...
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And tell me how you handle difficult employees or conflict. Because I've seen horrible cases of conflict management, or even discipline itself.
Difficult employees will always be there. Solomon.
Part and parcel. Accessory.
They actually make the day exciting. Because, I think HR always reverts back to policy. HR reverts back to the rules. But at the same time, I think listen to the employee.
Yes.
Please just listen to the employee. And once you've listened to the employee, set clear, put clear standards in place or clear expectations in place. But also, when now Solomon is difficult, don't manage the person, manage the behavior. What am I dealing with now? Okay, it's late coming. So I'm dealing with the late coming. So I address the late coming. Don't get, like you say now, I know this is the difficult person. Forget about that. Deal with the behavior. Deal with the behavior.
That's very deep.
When I issue warnings, I tell people that people take warnings in the wrong light, because the business is purely trying to correct the behavior. Solomon, when you're walking, I even give them this analogy and they get so tired of this analogy, but I say, it's like I take my daughter and we try to walk across a busy street and I'm holding her hand and she decides to break free and she crosses the road. When she comes back and you say, don't do that, that doesn't mean I don't love you.
No.
It doesn't mean I don't want you. It means that behavior is not right. Yes. It's dangerous. Don't do it again.
Wow.
So people need to see it in that light, but address the behavior. Don't deal with the person. You're dealing with what? Deviant behavior. You're not dealing with a person.
So that behavior does not necessarily define holistic.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And once we've addressed it and I've coached you and I've explained to you that this is wrong, then ideally it's behind us and we move forward.
Because I'm sitting here imagining somebody was late and then now this UI manager shouting, yeah, you're always late. Yeah, you like this. Yesterday you didn't perform. Now you're no longer dealing with a...
No, you're dealing with the individual. Absolutely.
Dealing with the individual.
Yes.
This is where most individuals would actually retaliate.
Absolutely.
And then, insubordinations and they happen and then people get fired.
Correct.
Love that. Tell me, honestly.
Yeah.
Just please, your honest opinion. Is HR too soft? I'm also asking softly.
Is HR too soft? HR? No, I don't think HR is too soft. Look, HR is not about we must be nice and we're the nice guy and all of that. But similarly, HR is there for both the business and the people.
Yep.
Agreed. I don't think it's about HR being too soft. And the trick with HR is you need to know when to be firm. There's a time to be firm. But also, as I've said earlier, firmness doesn't mean being rude. No. Firmness doesn't mean swearing. So no, I don't think HR is too soft. I do think, no, I don't think HR is too soft.
I actually think that swearing and shouting is equivalent to misconduct.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And disrespect.
But also, can I take it a bit further where I think you're even undermining the discipline process. The discipline process loses its credibility because you're screaming and shouting. It's losing its credibility. This process is there to reiterate a rule, to correct deviant behavior, to show the employee the right way. And by screaming and shouting, you're undermining that process. It's losing its credibility where the person can walk out there understanding this is the wrong thing, this is not allowed. And actually, this is the right thing. This is how I should be doing it. So you're affecting the credibility of a process by screaming and shouting.
And I'm sure it also affects the person screaming more than that.
Absolutely.
The person
Absolutely.
probably both on the same level or even worse for the other one.
What have we achieved? What have we achieved? I've humiliated you or tried to embarrass you, and what have we achieved? When the ideal is, what is the objective of that process? To correct the behavior and to reiterate the correct behavior.
I've seen it with my children. If you shout, probably within a few seconds, the same thing can happen.
Yes. You'll shout and shout and shout, yeah.
But if you talk to them nicely, I'm not saying that employees and I know they're adults. They're not kids.
Yes.
But because most of the times managers they and the employees are here.
Correct.
And that treatment, sometimes it's like that, which is wrong.
Yes.
I don't encourage that completely. If an employer would come to me and say, I want you to handle the disciplinary hearing of this employee who did 1, 2, 3, the first thing is I would ask, what did you do about it? Because if you retaliated, you shouted, you screamed at this employee, then I don't see the need to do it.
Yes.
Because automatically the code, is, like you said, is invalidated.
Correct.
So another probably not so difficult, but another question that I like. Are employers too afraid to dismiss employees? Let's maybe concentrate on higher-ish level employees. Because like you said quite nicely, that these employees, they actually have this huge impact on culture.
Correct.
And culture shift.
Correct.
At the same time.
Correct. Yeah, I think employers are not dismissing as much as they should. Although I think the CCMA caseload would say differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think employers are afraid of, if they're looking at possibly revenue, if they're looking at numbers, then they are afraid to necessarily just discipline, to act, not actually looking at the additional costs, whether it's morale or everything else that's affected, setting the wrong precedent, creating the wrong culture.
That is the biggest cost.
They're not looking at, you're not looking at those because it's not, you can't quantify it like you see, oh, I've sold 10 apples today versus, but they're not looking at that. But yeah, I think, again, I would reiterate, policies need to be in place and they need to be applied consistently. Once that foundation is in place, then you can start keeping people. But yeah, from my side, what I'm seeing is, I would say, yeah, employers are not dismissing as much as they should.
One of my favorites, American entrepreneurs, he said that as an employer, you need to hire fast, but dismiss faster.
Wow.
if you don't dismiss faster, then your culture it's gone.
And he's right, because the problem builds and grows legs and continues in the organization. And that's what you find. Organizations they're so fragile because the wrong kind of whisper throughout the organization disrupts productivity, influences morale, and productivity is then also, it goes down. The minute people are just a little bit of a whisper, the wrong kind of influence. So I would say possibly with the last part, I'm in agreement. I'm not necessarily in agreement in hiring fast because we've said recruit in haste, regret at leisure. So, but I would rather say, if there's a problem, deal with it. If there's a problem, employee, deal with it quickly. Not necessarily to say it has to be fired. It depends on what the code says. But where there is an employee that's not aligned to the organization or behavior that an employee is displaying that's not aligned to the organization, deal with it quickly. Move swiftly.
I've seen it in practice. I'm not going to say mention the names of the organization, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
Where you had employees going out, doing.
Yeah.
To say, get rid of this trash of a boss.
Yeah.
And then you decide that, no, I'm not going to get rid of this trash.
Correct.
I don't have these, I don't have replacement, story keys and all that.
Yeah.
Then you don't investigate.
Yes.
Because you like the trash.
Correct.
The trash brings money. Right.
Yeah.
But the trash will always remain the trash.
Correct.
I just want to be
blunt.
Understood. On this.
Understood.
And I'm a little bit emotional about it because at the end of the day, like you said, business, like we said, business is built by the people.
Correct.
Money is people first, then money.
Correct.
If these people, you do not take care of them the way you're supposed to.
Correct.
Then you're gonna lose the whole thing that you've built, that you actually lost loads of health, sweat, and made lots of sacrifices.
Absolutely. If your staff feels supported, the value that you'll get out of them, you won't even be able. The minute the staff feels supported, you'll get amazing things out of your staff.
I'm completely learning too. I'm relearning. So let's go. I just want to lighten it. What's the role? What has been the role of faith in your leadership?
Wow. Faith. Faith. Yeah. I don't want to become emotional, but my faith has kept me rooted also. My faith has been my compass in terms of how I lead, how I treat people. Faith encourages humility.
Amen to that.
Absolutely. Yep. I serve God, so I'm not afraid to be serving others. Because faith teaches you to serve. Where does it say, here am I, Lord, send me? So faith teaches you, or it encourages humility. It encourages respect, humbleness, and sometimes, Solomon, people make the mistake and think the higher you climb on the ladder, you must become, and you must speak to people this way and that way. And when actually faith does the opposite. Faith teaches you the higher you go, the smaller you must become. The smaller you must become. And the minute you are small, God lifts you. That is my faith.
Wow.
The minute So my faith has guided me to understand that I'm dealing with a human being, number one. Number one, I'm dealing with a person. This person is created in the image of God. And I would speak to this person the same way I would like the person to speak to me.
Just a poetry clap with that.
Absolutely. You cannot, I'm dealing with a human being here. My faith is teaching me I can be humble. I can be kind.
Yeah.
I can be respectful. And I must remember I'm in service. So when it comes to my customer, even the way I speak to my customer, I am in service to my customer. And service is not demeaning to me. Service is absolutely not demeaning to me. I'm blessed to be in service. I am blessed to be in service.
I'm blessed to be sitting here with you today. I just enjoyed my Easter and listening to that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And how do you talk to me about balancing career and being a mother? I mean, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people would resign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very intentional when it comes to my time. Very intentional. And I plan. I prioritize. I communicate. Even with the children, I explain. I'm going away. This has to happen. And, and I delegate.
Wow.
Not hugs.
Yes.
Not their hugs. But I delegate as much as I can or where it is needed. Where it is needed. I can't tell you how many times my 16-year-old and 17-year-old, how many times they've prepared supper or how many times they've put the little sister into her lift club because I'm out of the country or whatever. So, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to, and that's the other thing. Oh, you group HR, whatever. I'm not afraid to ask for help. I'm not afraid to ask for help. Yeah. No, I'm not afraid. Like I said, I'll delegate where it's needed, but ultimately I'm intentional with my time. And motherhood, I would say, has tried to teach me to be more patient. It has tried to teach me to multitask more. So I believe it has made me a better leader. And obviously with kids, kids are full of tricks. So now when you get to the workplace, you also spot the tricks quite quickly,
Yes.
So yeah, but really, it is a balancing act, and I will say to you, it is possible. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but plan, prioritize. Don't be afraid where you need help, and just have discussions. Communication, people say in relationships, people say at work, wherever you go, communication is key.
Would you say that bravery of going out and say, you know what, I want help? Would you say it comes from Kasi? I mean, I grew up in Kasi myself in Tbilisi, just here around the corner.
Okay.
In Pumulong, those that are watching from my Kaslam. Because, in the townships, we rely on each other.
Yeah.
Or probably, should I say, we used to, because nowadays, we live in a diverse, multinational Kasis.
Correct.
Difficult these days. But before that, my dad would go to work, he'd leave me alone, and then, under the care of my neighbor.
Correct.
Correct.
And we also grew up like that, yes.
Yeah, when I visited from Limpopo, coming here, and I knew that I was safe.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
When my dad was driving his truck, my dad was a truck driver.
Okay.
For many years, going to Cape Town or wherever, and I was all there by myself. I knew sleeping time, somebody's going to come. They're going to either have a little sister or brother in the family coming and stay with me. And, would you say it comes from Kasi?
Yes, I grew up in the Kasi, so I think, we, like you say, you're not afraid to go and borrow next door if there's no sugar or there's no, although my dad is a very proud individual. And I've had to learn on a spiritual path that pride is not, it's not Christian to have so much pride, to be a proud individual. But I would think, I would say to anybody, there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Nothing at all.
Similarly, I want to add this, even if it's not necessarily, if it's slightly deviating, there's nothing wrong even. So there's nothing wrong to ask for help, even if you're this group HR lead. I can ask for help.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong if you're this group HR lead where you say, I don't know how to do that. And I think for the employees who are watching, leaders who are watching, whether it's junior, whether it's senior, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. I don't know how, you won't know how to do everything. And that's okay. That's okay. And I sometimes think people get that wrong because organizations don't hire you so you know everything. You're not supposed to know everything.
No, you're not supposed to.
No.
Otherwise, you should be the only employee.
Absolutely, because you're Mr. One-stop-it-all. No. But don't be afraid to ask for help. It doesn't minimize or undermine. It doesn't take anything from you.
No, it doesn't. Even myself here.
I'm so happy to learn from others. I'm very happy to learn from others because whatever I learn from another person, it just equips me even more.
That's for sure. You know, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. Somebody said
Absolutely.
that. Which goes to the imposter syndrome as well.
Yes, shame.
You don't need to know everything.
Absolutely.
So, to me, you sound very grounded. Share the secret, please.
I'll say I mentioned my dad because my mom is late, but
sorry about that.
Yeah, those people. My dad is he keeps me grounded. He'll potla you straight. He'll tell you. He doesn't scale him. He doesn't care who I am. He tells me where I'm wrong, and I appreciate that. My kids, Solomon, they keep me grounded as well. They remind me to laugh.
Yeah.
They remind me to continue, and they challenge me. You know, I raised people who challenge me, and I'm open to that. That's great. I remember I knew I had a lot of things to pay that month, and people were misbehaving, and I'm like, I'm taking your allowance.
Yes.
And the little one is like, you haven't given us notice. You can't just take it this month.
Oh, what?
Wow. Yes, when? And I'm like, But yeah,
good lessons.
My kids,
good lessons.
My kids keep me grounded. And again, my faith, my faith teaches me, always, faith encourages me to always be respectful, to always try and be patient, to always try and listen and try and empathize and feel for another, to soften my heart, Scripture even talks about removing the heart of stone and replacing it with a heart where you feel for another. So I'm not saying please guys, if rules need to be enforced at the organization.
All the
people
time.
need to perform. Let's go. And people who work with me, they know this for real. But at the end of the day, absolutely, you can do how you do it. There's always the how as a leader. How do you do it? And that's where my faith grounds me in that and reminds me that I'm still a person, you're a person. I'm not above you. I'm not better than you. I'm not. I'm group HR lead, but I'm not better than you.
I wish many people can actually watch this and just learn from you, because these are real nuggets.
Absolutely.
We tend to forget that before the positions, we are human.
Absolutely.
Before anything else, we are born that with our titles. Anyways, it's fine. It's all right. Now let's go to the future. I want to talk about the future of HR.
Sure.
Where do you see us in human resources, considering the speed of technology, considering the generation that we have right now that would obviously lead in a medium term, not even long term?
Correct.
Where do you see this industry?
I think short term, I do think organizations are going to become really more culture focused. Because remember, skills are, it's easier now with the AI in terms of the skills.
Yes.
But organizations are going to become really more culture focused. I have a friend who actually said something to me when we went to some leadership thing, and she said to me, at some point we'll get to a point where you are managing robots and people. Have we thought about that? Gugu said that to me to say, oh, wow, can you imagine a world where we're getting to a point where there'll be robots and there'll be humans and you'll have to manage the two?
Actually, we are there.
We're there. Actually, you're so right.
Here at Sisol, we already have a couple of robots, which is AI agents.
Where?
Right in our organizations.
Oh.
Labor X and Sisol Connects. There are AI agents that run autonomously in the background. Somebody still needs to manage them.
Absolutely, to ensure that the correct output. Absolutely, that you get the correct output. But ultimately, we'll get to a point where culture is key.
Yes.
We'll get to a point where it's more important about values. It's more important about getting the right individual on board. Because where the AI is there, it's there to enhance. It's there to support.
Exactly.
It's there to support. It's there to enhance. It's there to make it stronger. But ultimately, we will be very selective. We'll get to that point. But really, it is about, for me, HR. And when we're talking culture, HR will then have to be that strategic partner.
It has to be.
Who's going to assist you in assessing culture?
No, there's no choice. I mean, really, HR professionals with experience in culture, I think they're going to become very
in demand.
In demand.
Absolutely.
And very expensive for that
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
At least HR can be paid
this time.
Nicer salary, right?
Listen.
and big bonuses. Because I mean, really, if you were to really think about it now, take for example in Connects, we have an AI that filters down the CVs that we receive.
All right.
But I still need my recruiters.
Correct.
To interview the people.
Yes.
To
assess
feel,
culture. Absolutely.
To assess cultural fit.
Absolutely.
Even though we have AI that can match CV 100% to this job spec, it doesn't take away the human factor.
No.
I've always said this.
And here's the painful part. In the workplace, what do you have? Humans.
Yep.
So human behavior is something that you'll need to manage. You need to, what do you need to manage? Human behavior. So can AI, if AI couldn't assess the human part of it or the behavioral part of it, you still need to assess the human behavior. Because that's what happens in the workplace. Oh, they're not talking to me. Oh, they gossiping.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't feel, you still need to deal with those things.
And that is almost, you could say almost about 90 and 70% of what HR really deals with most of the times.
There you go.
Wow, very impressive. And then I want you to advise CEOs, me included.
Oh, here we go.
HR professionals and employees at large. What would be your advice?
CEOs, invest in your people. We spoke about this.
We spoke about that, yeah.
Invest in your people, respect HR, and don't underestimate culture. Don't underestimate the impact of culture. Don't. You're supported, like I said, a supported workforce is going to bring you way more. If your employees feel supported, if they feel valued, you're going to get way more out of that. Work with HR. Hi, Mr. HR. Hi, Mr. CEO. Work with HR. HR will help you in growing and developing your people.
Yes.
HR will help you with that. HR will help you in shaping the culture in the organization, in providing a supported work environment for your people to thrive. So invest in your people and work with HR.
Yeah, you remind me of one man who said to me, he was complaining essentially.
Yeah.
That I hired this person for over 10 years and they're still in the same position. But if you go back and look and check what did the company really do to assist this person to need?
Yes.
But also on the other side, like we spoke.
Yeah, what did the person?
What did this person really do?
That's always the thing. The relationship is, and sometimes I say to employees also, they must understand, it's like a romantic relationship, two parties. There's the employer and there's the employee. And this is why if you manage, if you understand that, but this is a relationship. The employment relationship is just that. It's a relationship, and you need to treat it like a relationship where I bring my part, you bring your part. You know, we value this union by both pouring into this, being committed to this. You want to support me with my development. I also want to support me with my development. I protect the business. You protect the business. If you understand it like that, then there'll be success. But yeah, that's my advice for CEOs. For HR, I would say HR. Hi, HR, can you HR? HR, can you HR? But no, in all honesty, I think HR, be strategic. Be strategic.
Yes.
Come on now, be strategic. Yes.
Not paper pushes.
No, speak up, you know. Be strategic, but be firm when needed. Stand up for your people. Hi, stand up for your people. Speak for your people, you know. And like I said earlier on, you haven't failed just because nothing is done. You have acted in your capacity by speaking up. But you need to be able to know when to be firm and when to be empathetic.
Very, very key. Now let's
for the employee. Sorry, I think you said for the employee. For the employee, I think be accountable, you know, and take pride in your work. Be accountable in terms of your work, and where you are getting feedback, take it, embrace that feedback, you know, so you can learn and grow from it. I think people are afraid to hear, Riana, this wasn't the best report, or this, you could have done this in a better way. And that denies you the opportunity to grow. The minute I'm open to feedback, I'm able to grow. You know, because I've said to you, my daughters stand in for me so many times. So they learn to cook and things like that. And sometimes you say, there's too much salt in the food, or there's too much, I don't know, too much spices in the food. And now the person is upset, my one daughter, I'm not going to cook anymore. And I say to her, you are denying yourself the opportunity to ace this thing, to grow. Because now if you sit and think, they said I put too much salt. Let me think. Tomorrow when I cook, I'm going to measure it differently. And now I'm going to add this. And now I'm going to... So when you walk out, the next dish that you presented, you have grown, you have elevated. And now you've aced this thing. I've said to my daughter, you are denying yourself the opportunity to grow. So when you get feedback, don't become emotional about it. Listen to it and embrace it. Oh, they say my report is not up to standard. Okay, let me look at AI. Let me sit with someone. Let me see what I can do. Let me research. Let me change it this way. And when you walk out there and you present a different report and it actually gets approval, you've nailed this thing.
Yes.
And also, you've grown.
You've grown.
You've grown.
And it's visible.
It's visible. Allow yourself. So be open to that as an employee. Don't walk around. Nobody can tell you how to do things and this is wrong and we've always done it 600 years like this. No. Be open to feedback. Be proud. Be accountable for this is my work that I'm presenting. And when it's not up to the standard, I will adjust it this way and I'll take the feedback and adjust it because then I walk out, I've nailed it and I've grown.
Yes. Wow. Riana, thank you very much. This was, for me, I know that I'm also in the space of HR, but my love, I'll always reiterate, my love is in labor relations. But the things that you taught me, that you taught the audience today, I really appreciate it. And I believe that a lot of people, whether you are an employer or you are an employee, including a job seeker, you spoke to the job seekers. Correct. And also human resource managers. I'm sure you heard for yourselves. Guys, let's implement human resources. Let's do the HRing. Let's do the human resources. Yes. That's what Riana said. And then for you as the CEOs, directors, employers like me, let's invest in our people.
Correct.
I think with that, we can see what Riana organization, what the organization that she works for see in her and putting her in the position where she is. Riana, thank you very much.
Solomon, I want to say thank you for having me. You know, I'm not coming here with my wisdom and but things that we've been exposed to and things that have worked for us. But I want to also say thank you to your listeners. And I want to, again, like you say, plead with HR to be HR, to speak up for the people. I'm proud of what I do as HR. I'm proud of being about people. And I think as HR, understand that you are the people champion.
Yes.
You are the people fighter. So fight for the people.
Amandla.
Fight for the people. Amandla.
One last thing as we close. I spoke about talking about consistency in the next topic.
Yes.
But I don't want to be that guy. I want you to share a topic that we're going to talk about next time when you return back to our studios.
Sure. Yeah, you spoke about, you said consistency. I'm
Yes.
open to consistency. But I think, Solomon, there's so much to be said for people also. I don't know if we'll cover it, but people and being people who've given up in the workplace or who've given up on themselves. I've kind of experienced now, sometimes you go and you're dealing with managers and you're dealing with staff, that there's quite a bit of broken people out there. And I think we need to look at having a discussion around the broken people in the workplace and how we can support that. Because ultimately, like I said, we want our employees to thrive. We're not psychologists and we're not doctors.
No, of course.
But ultimately, surely there needs to be, we need to look at ways where we are able to identify individuals who've been broken and what we can do as a business to uplift them and support them, because ultimately we want a really productive employee.
Yes.
And if there's a broken person in my space and I'm not doing anything around that, I'm not going to get the best out of the person.
Rihanna,
but yeah,
I'm gonna note that topic.
Yes.
That will be the topic that we're gonna talk about.
What are we going to say? Broken people.
I think it's deep. Maybe we can call it broken.
No, come on.
Broken employees.
No, let's not call it broken people.
I'm kidding. No, but
Yeah.
Really, I think this is a very deep topic.
Yes,
And I think it touches each and every single one of us.
correct.
There will be a time in our career where we just drop like a glass,
Yes,
and we must just get back to our feet and work for our kids and for our careers and for our futures and make sure that we leave a legacy
yes.
on this earth. Thank you very much. Producers, I'm sure we are done. Thanks.